What if you were about a year and a half away from retiring, age 62, ready to finally walk away, but you had no idea if your numbers actually work? How much income would you really need? How long would your savings last? And what would your retirement look like? Not just in your 60s, but all the way through your 80s and 90s. Hi, I'm David Caviness, certified financial planner. In today's video, I'm going to break down exactly what those numbers look like through a real-life example. I'm going to run through the income, the expenses, withdrawals, and growth projections step by step so you can see how to tell if your plan is truly sustainable. Let's talk about a new client of mine that I've started working with recently, Erin. She's 61 and is planning to retire next year when she turns 62. She's been working hard, she's built a strong income, and has been disciplined in her saving. But like many people, she's uncertain whether what she's built will actually last. So in this video, we're going to model Erin's full retirement from age 62 all the way to 90 to see how long her money can hold up, what her income might look like, and what adjustments could make her plan just a little bit stronger. So let's start by looking at where she stands today, what she earns, what she spends, and what she's saved up to this point. And right now, Erin's earning about $200,000 a year, and that's before taxes, 401k contributions, medical, everything comes out of her check. She's accumulated about $1 million so far in her 401k. She's got $200,000 that's in a non-retirement brokerage account and about $50,000 sitting in a savings account at the bank. Her monthly expenses are close to $6,000 per month, roughly, $72,000 a year. She's planning to start Social Security right away at age 62, which will provide about $28,000 per year in income. Now that we've got her starting point, let's see how these numbers play out once she officially retires. Because Erin wants to retire towards the middle of next year, and that means she's going to have about half of a year's salary, so roughly $83,000 before she is completely retired and full retirement begins. She'll get partial Social Security next year, so about $13,000. But by 2027, she'll be receiving her full Social Security benefit of close to $28,000 per year. Now, one of the biggest factors in any retirement plan is inflation. So $74,000 of annual expenses in 2026 will gradually rise to more than $96,000 by the time she hits her 90s. And so that's why her plan includes built-in cost of living adjustments. And because the real world doesn't stand still, and neither should your plan. So at retirement, Erin's going to have about $1.3 million in investable assets next summer. Her withdrawals start small, just enough to fill the gap between her expenses and Social Security and any after-tax income that she's generating from her portfolio. And they're going to increase each year to keep pace with inflation and taxes. So here's what the numbers actually show. By age 90, Erin's portfolio declined slightly from $1.3 million to about $933,000. Now that's completely normal and actually a healthy sign. The goal isn't to preserve every dollar forever, it's to spend confidently while keeping the plan sustainable. A slow, steady drawdown is exactly what we want to see throughout your retirement. And talking with Erin, one of the things we discussed was, what if she decided to work part-time for a few more years? So let's say that she earns $50,000 a year until age 65, and because she's working, she delays her Social Security until that point. Her benefit actually jumps up to about $33,500 per year. And because she isn't withdrawing as much from her savings early on, her portfolio will continue to grow instead of declining. So by age 90, she's going to have about $1.46 million instead of the $933,000 in her initial portfolio draft. That's over $500,000 in additional wealth simply by delaying retirement income and keeping some earnings for a few extra years. Small changes actually can make a big difference in your retirement plan. As we walk through this plan, some things we assumed was a 6% conservative net rate of return after fees. We adjusted for inflation each year. And even though Social Security does give cost of living adjustments, I held that steady just to keep the projections realistic and conservative because I'd rather see Erin be pleasantly surprised than disappointed down the road. Now, here's something I tell every client. Financial plans are living, breathing documents. Life changes, health goals, markets, and your plan should evolve right along with it. That's why having an interactive financial plan matters. It lets you model retiring a year later, working part-time, delaying your Social Security, and even adjusting your expenses over time. The goal here isn't to predict the future, it's to prepare for it with flexibility. At the end of the day, it's not about hitting some perfect number. It's about building a plan that works for you. Erin's story shows that retiring at 62 is possible, but the key is understanding your numbers and adjusting them with intention. If you would like to see what your own numbers look like, when you can retire, and how long your money might last, let's talk. I'd encourage you to visit my website at cavinesswealth.com and let's schedule time to discuss your retirement plan.